What up, guys? Welcome to Magic Rising. Sorry for the late start. Just waiting on everyone to get here. We're getting pretty late into the story, so let's just sort of do a recap. And to do that, we've got this handy project sheet. The story started with kidnappings along the Hudson River. The main characters investigated the nature of the kidnappings and found out that all of the victims are magical. They investigated magic and found out that there was this person, Mortimer Reed, who is a rival to their, maybe patron would be a decent word, Jason. They learned more about Jason and Mortimer and ended up learning about a lot of things. A lot of crazy shit, and now they're working towards the downfall of Mortimer Reed, who is trying to rip New York City out of the physical world and create his own private pocket dimension, which is generally something to be displeased about. So, when we last left off, I believe I believe we were actually staying the night at
Yeah, we were.
the
Yep, Julian's, yeah.
yeah, at Julian's place, the God, what's that? Order of Magi establishment. So morning rolls around, y'all wake up and I assume head out into the common room. Dio is not with you for whatever reason.
Family affairs.
Probably went to go throw a rock at someone again.
Cause some chaos. But yeah, you're in the Order of Magi building.
What are we looking for? I don't. It's been like 2 weeks, so I don't recall exactly on where we left off. I know we were like messing around with orcs when we went to this.
We found out how to kill a noble, therefore Mortimer,
Mm-hmm.
and we set out to like find his headquarters or lure him out, since we know how to kill him.
Yeah.
Gather our forces and our knowledge and kill him.
So is that-
Unfortunately, all of our forces aren't here.
Is that where we're set on right now? Finding him and destroying him.
That is the general goal. Is on the project sheet, the downfall of Mortimer Reed. So that's what you're working towards.
Okay.
And to that end, you have learned that he is soldiers powered by artifacts. You have artifacts of your own. You know how to kill a noble, and you know that the factory where he creates his artifacts is on a ley line.
And if I remember correctly, we left the map with someone, with Julian?
Yes, yeah, you left the map with Julian, and you were giving him time to perform a ritual to mark the ley lines in New York City on it.
Yeah. Alright, so in the common room, I sort of look around and just point at a random guy and, hey, where's Julian? You gotta talk to him.
Yeah, you find one of the acolytes, and he says, Master Julian is recovering after his ritual. He is understandably exhausted at this point in time. However, you can he left the map for you, and you can go pick that up. Follow me. And he sort of leads you off. Leads you off to a side room, and there's a pedestal that has the map sitting on it.
That's awfully ceremonial. Or who am I to talk? I haven't seen these guys before.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess I walk over to the map and pick it up and bring it over to the others so we can sit it down and look at it.
Alright, yeah. So you pick up the map, and he has marked the ley lines on it for you. So...
Still within New York City, right?
Yes. Yeah, the ley lines within the city. So let me do that. One... App.
Alright. Are we not? Okay.
There. There. There.
How many are there?
There. Those are the ones he's marked for you.
Yeah.
Because the acolyte says that he had determined that the factory had to be somewhere on the lower side of Manhattan.
Okay. All right. So is that? Are we supposed to look for the intersection of those places?
No, those are the intersections.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they all should be investigated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have already investigated the one in the lower left, and you recognize that.
Lower left, that would be Fort, right?
Yeah. That's on the shore. Albatross has been there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
The
the
OP crew.
that's we're heading to first.
No, you've already been there. It's outdoors, so that pretty much eliminates it as a spot for a factory.
All right. So we move on to the one next to the shipyards.
Sure.
Yes. Sounds good to me.
So yeah, I mean, I guess you go to leave the Order of Magi.
Mm-hmm.
How are you planning on getting there? Are you planning on walking or taking a cab or?
Cam seems like the best bet. Fastest.
Yeah, I think I want to
Elijah.
call Elijah, the OP Uber driver.
So,
Okay. So you call up Elijah. He is able to swing by and stops outside. He's, as per usual, very annoying. But you know, you're used to his shtick by now, and you're just sort of able to hop in his cab and tell him where you want to go.
All right.
And he takes you down to the seaport.
Get there, hop out of the cab, thank Elijah, and looking around, what do we see?
All right. Well, you are once again. It's a little bit later in the day. So the sun is starting to set, and it's starting to be a little bit of a darker evening. You are greeted to sec. Set it up real quick. This. So yeah, you're down by the shore. The sun is starting to set, so it's not really evening, but it's you know, darker than the daytime. And yeah, he just sort of drops you off like on, you know, on like the street, but there's sort of like docks and restaurants and stuff. It's not really docks, as like historically they were docks, but now it's just sort of a seaside area for restaurants, etc.
Okay.
Let's get some dinner.
I know Albatross would like that.
No, that's Fang. That's
Oh,
Fang.
is it? Oh man, my bad. But I want to check underwater first. Can I do that? Can I just use like a, since I have 5 points in my thing, can I just use like a 4-point shadow magic, like little fishies, fast
Sure.
fishies to go underwater and see what's up?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so, and that's not costing you any will at all, right?
Well, I guess not. They're just fish for me to like.
Well,
spot.
yeah. Okay, so, and what are you looking for?
Any sign that there might be some activity in the area, like magic activity or anything unusual under the water?
Okay. Yeah, you send your fish down, and you have them start searching the area for anything unusual. They don't notice anything immediately, and so you sort of expand their search, and you realize it's going to take them some time to search the entire area.
Okay. So let's get some dinner.
Oh yeah, I'm down. Sushi, I love it.
Okay.
Sushi by the seaside.
Yeah, you stop, you find a sushi place, and you stop in for food.
Okay.
Um,
Now that we got a breather, guys, we're kind of like one man down. We're like, there's just three of us, and we're usually the supports, to be honest. So
Yeah, kind of.
I'm just sort of thinking about strategy here. I know we usually gung ho.
Gun ho. I mean, for now we could just like try to surprise
Find the
him,
location.
and
Yeah, that is true. He doesn't really know we're coming. I
Yeah.
mean, realistically, he kind of does, but as far as we know, he doesn't know we're coming.
all right, so as you're eating dinner, your fish continue their search. They don't really find anything underwater, you know, and they're just sort of like they inform me that like yeah, there's a ley line here. It's not really doing anything right now. It's
All right.
dormant, I guess would be the word.
Okay, you guys, my fishies have done like looking for stuff, and they say that there's nothing really here. Julian was right in informing us that there was a ley line here, so at least we have that as reliable information that the other two things marked on the map are also ley lines, but nothing's really happening here. So we should move on, maybe.
Yeah.
where to? Where to? You guys want to try another location?
Maybe the one in the
Yeah.
center.
All right. You return to the map and take another look.
What do you guys think?
Let's go to, well, the closest place from the shipyards would be Coilares or Coilares Sur, I think is
Yeah,
what it says.
so that is
That's already been looked at, I think. Oh no.
No, you were
The one
at the ship Mars.
Other side.
All right, let's go to the hook.
All right, so
It's not within walking distance, right?
no, that would be kind of far away.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to call up Elijah again?
Let's do that.
All right, you
no.
call him up. He says, "You guys are earning pretty good frequent flyer miles," and he shows up pretty quickly outside the sushi place where you.
Hey, Albatross is here. Oh yeah. Oh, he changed the profile picture changed, so I thought it was
Nah.
He was just hitting on a waitress. Elijah was on his way.
So you get in his cab. You tell him where you want to go. It turns out it's somewhere in the Lower East Side, and he gets you there pretty quick. You're in pretty much a residential area. You know, apartments and of various kinds, brownstones, etc. But you're not. You don't really. Nothing like pops out as like, oh, this is obviously where you need to go. It's just a residential area.
Well, that in itself is pretty suspicious. But I'm guessing, I don't know. What about Rem? What can you like see anything unusual? Hyper focus something?
I guess I could put use some of my points as well into that and see if I can notice anything.
Yeah,
See if
maybe
it takes me anywhere.
maybe you could focus on the map and use it to sort of pinpoint the location.
Okay. I'm really getting into my character, you know?
Yeah.
So, What can I find from focusing like on this?
How many points of hyperfocus are you using?
3 or 4. I don't think I need to use too much
Okay.
for this one. It's not combat or anything.
Yeah. And that's just a base level, right? Like that doesn't cost you anything. No, it definitely
I
doesn't.
already have a bunch.
Yeah, you have a 5. You could actually probably you should just use up to 5 because you can do that for free.
Okay,
Like it
then,
doesn't.
yeah. I forgot I put so many points into that one thing.
Yeah, so 5 is gonna do something productive. So you focus on this map, and it just like mentally you just zoom in, and you sort of overlay like you pull out your phone and you have Google Maps on it, and you just like look left and right, and you're just like here, and you're like tracing just like the edge of the island. And obviously it's kind of difficult to do because this is a map from the like from about 200 years ago, so it's not entirely accurate. And furthermore, there are actually a lot of places that are landfill. But eventually you're able to figure it out, and you find you lead everyone to sort of a little park in the center of a residential block.
Okay.
The park has it's sort of like a few blocks of flowers around a little fountain in the center. There's some benches and stuff. The fountain itself is actually very flat. Like it's a circle, maybe about 10 feet in diameter, and in the center there's just a spring of water. But it's the sort of fountain that like kids will play in, and parents will have to go and get them out of. There are coins on the ground in the fountain, and it's actually yeah. And you can tell that the ley line is in the center of this fountain.
Okay. Well, it's like nighttime around this time, right?
Yeah. It's probably like 8:30.
Okay. So should we wait for people to like not be there and see what we can find in the center?
I mean, there aren't really that many people around you. There's like 1 or 2.
Okay. So
just sort of pedestrians walking through.
Mm-hmm. What direction do you guys want to go from here? Albatross and Arena?
Later.
Later.
I don't know. I mean, I think we could look under and above the fountain, I guess, if there's anything going on. So obviously, like, the fountain isn't a factory, but maybe it has something under it.
Okay. Should I do the fishy thing again, except this time with like police-sized things, so that they can like get into the nooks and crannies of the fountain?
Sure.
You could try and summon a fish that could go down the pipe, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just sort of cement.
All right. Well, I was imagining one of those like marble fountains, not.
Oh no! It's like a flat basin.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Moderate-sized fish for the pipe.
Oh, nice.
5 points into that.
All right, you send a fish down the pipe. It struggles. And you.
See you later.
The fish is like it sort of starts to swim down the pipe, and it's getting somewhere, but it's eventually pushed back, not by magic or any sort of barriers or defense mechanisms, but just by sheer water pressure.
All right, then I'll make it stronger. I'll
All right.
enforce the buddy with like 2 points of will.
You funneled 2 points of will into the fish, and it is able to overcome the water pressure. It wiggles its little fishy tail, and it swims down the pipe of the fountain. And eventually, it just sort of... It keeps swimming, and it keeps swimming, and then it pops out the side of the fountain, out of the drainer, and like in the air, and just sort of lands in your hands.
And it
Um,
found nothing.
it says that the same thing that your last fish said, that like there's a lane line here, but it's dormant. It's not doing anything. The fish does it sort of like lifts its head up, and it sort of like stretches its fins out a little bit, and it says, "But that was a nice swim."
I'm glad for you, buddy. Now get back in there.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So both of them are dormant
Yeah.
so far.
2 left.
Yeah, 2 left.
Might as well go to the closest one, which
Yeah.
is either
In
Boren
between.
Lane.
It's Bowery. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You once again call Elijah, and this time he takes you to Bowery. It's a large, wide street that just sort of goes up through the center of the city, right? Like it just is this lane that goes north and south. The ley line is in the center of the road. It like in an intersection.
Okay, so that tri
There's
thing there.
cars.
Well, it's 200 years old though. So.
Yeah. Arena would probably notice that there's a subway entrance nearby.
Okay. Heightened senses. Yeah, I'd probably notice. Okay, so the last time we were at a ley line, well, the last 2 times, both of like, I went underground sort of with both of my. I'm trying to argue going into the subway to my fellows. So I think we should go check out that subway since it's also underground. Maybe it's closer to the source of the power and the ley line.
Sure.
Seems good enough to me.
All right, so I guess you head down into the subway. I'm sure everyone, because as far as I know, every character is native to New York, so you have like a Metro Pass and you get in no problem. And as you're walking through the subway, and Rem is sort of leading everyone because he's like keeping that mental map, right? He's like, okay, the intersection was here and the subway entrance is over here, and we walked down in this direction, so we're going to turn left here, which brings us back towards that intersection. And you're sort of like guiding everyone just sort of on your sense of direction, trying to get back to where that intersection is. And as you're doing that, Albatross, because of your elemental attunement, you can just sort of feel that the earth around you is
Enchanted?
uncomfortable.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I will alert them to my gut feeling of what's going on. And that something's happening down here that isn't normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
And then from there we can.
Do we keep on walking? Just keep on walking? Or
yeah, you keep on walking, and as you walk, Albatross, I think you start to feel more and more uncomfortable. Well, I guess as an elementalist, right, you're sort of connected to all of the elements. You could maybe, like, pay less attention to Earth, but if you don't do that, it's gonna start, like, getting to you. Because the Earth, the Earth spirits are, like, basically screaming.
Ah!
I'll try and just like play with a little bit of fire in my hand or whatever to try and distract me.
Okay, cool.
Like a little flame on my fingertips.
Yeah, so you're just sort of doing that, and the way that works is that it's you're maintaining an action, and you can only do 2 things at once. So you're basically moving and you're playing with fire, and that helps. You're distracting yourself and staying calm. Eventually, as you guys are walking, there's sort of a maintenance tunnel that has a door. And Albatross, you feel almost like a magnetic push against you. Like the earth spirits are just very unhappy.
Okay, I noticed that he's sort of shocked and taken aback by something, and I asked him what's wrong. What's wrong, Albatross?
The earth is not very well around this gate. It's trying to tell me that something's going on.
Okay. So, is it advising caution or is it asking for help?
It seems like a little bit of both. It just seems like the earth is in pain in this area. So that could mean something dangerous is happening, but it could also mean that he's trying to destroy the place here. That's why the earth is in pain.
This,
Okay.
well, I have like, you know, the architectural engineering stuff.
Sure.
Does that translate from like not just buildings, but like metro areas as well?
Yeah, you would have an understanding of the way metro areas are constructed.
So say maybe like this place is located near a like a cemetery or some odd place that could contribute to this like feeling.
No, but you do realize that, like, you're stopped outside the door to a maintenance tunnel, and from your knowledge of architecture, you realize that this maintenance tunnel makes no sense, right? Because maintenance tunnels are used to get maintenance people from the civilian areas to useful places, and this just goes into dead area. The subway doesn't go anywhere around there. Like, it's not actually going anywhere. It doesn't make sense.
Unnatural. All right, so I'll tell my friends.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be here. Like this isn't supposed to be here. I don't know why this is here. Should we go ahead and open the door?
I think I'll listen in first. Okay. I'll listen in to the door. I think I have 3 points in heightened senses.
Yeah.
I'll put in 1 point of will so I can listen and maybe look through a keyhole if there is one, although usually there isn't one, I think.
Yeah, there would be a keyhole.
Okay. I'll do both then and put in 1 point of will so that my scouting can be more effective.
Sure. So that's a 4, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you look through the keyhole or you don't look through the keyhole, you listen up against the door and you hear footsteps and talking. You cannot make out any words. You can't make out, like, you can't really make out what's happening, but you hear 3 distinct tones of or 3 distinct voices, and you hear footsteps. So there are people down somewhere behind this door.
I can't tell the proximity or
They're not close. They're not like, you're not gonna like open the door and they're right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, there's definitely someone behind this door. They're not gonna greet us if we open it, but there is someone behind this unnatural door that shouldn't exist.
Well,
So
there's like a possible chance of combat. You mentioned earlier, like we don't have our warrior here. Do we want to take this risk of going in?
like, to be honest, I think I'm up for combat for sure, but the thing is I have 5 will left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a little bit of combat stuff, but I don't know. If you guys
We also
want to
have
go
our
in,
weapons.
yeah.
Well,
Or if you guys want to,
Albatross and I.
I'll be okay with either.
Well, what's our guarantee that when we get back, this ley line won't be dormant as well?
That's true. It could just go away. So we don't really have much of a choice to do anything but go in. If we wait any longer, there's a chance it just won't be here when we get back.
To be honest, we could just like, I know that in the past, both Jason and Henry have said that nobles can sort of detect magic. So I think that if we just sort of suppress ourselves, we can go in. I mean, you guys could do that, right? Just
Yeah, I should be able to. I wouldn't be able to
I think it
focus
would
on much
hurt you a
else though.
little bit.
I think
Like, I'd be in a little bit of pain, but I should be able to do it.
I have stealth as a as a skill, I guess. So I could go in and you guys could be my lifeline. I could just leave a tiny shadow person outside with you guys, and I'll just make it dance if I'm in trouble. And I'll just go in and scout.
I don't know if I'd be able to help too much because one of my bonds is I don't get distracted when focused, so I'd be focused on like making sure my power or any of my magic like goes through. So I'd be.
And I just sort of imagined it would be very, very difficult for Albatross to go in since he's already very disturbed by what the Earth is telling him.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for me to like hide my powers, that means I wouldn't be distracting myself either. So it just get worse. For me to
Okay.
go.
And I do think Rem would be better if you came with me
Mhm.
because you'd just be able to focus on a lot of stuff and maybe tell me extra info that I wouldn't be able to like detect with my heightened senses or anything. So if Albatross doesn't mind, he can be our lifeline outside.
Yeah, I'll guard the entrance.
Yeah, we'll just like call Elijah or anyone if we were in trouble, and Rem and I will just go in and silently see what's happening.
Okie dokie. I'll open the
Okay.
door for you like a gentleman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I walk in. To the
You go to open the door and it's locked.
Okay.
Man.
I saw that coming. I'm not going to lie. I saw that coming. Okay. Can I just send some shadow vines in to like dislodge the lock or something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 4 points would be enough, or 5 points. 5 points.
Yeah,
enough?
you can do 4 points, and it won't make that much noise, but it will break the lock. So like it won't be able to lock again without someone coming and fixing it and recoring it.
If I put 5 points in it, it's gonna be productive, but once again, not very effective, I guess. So I'll put.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, basically, without spending will, you could open it, but someone would probably realize that it's been tampered with if they came and checked.
Can I not like?
We have a lifeline though, so if they come to see the
I'll be
lock
there
anyway,
and
it's gonna
check it. I can knock someone out with my bow or whatever.
Okay. Well, I still think better safe than sorry, so I'll put 2 points of will in it. Will that be enough?
Yeah. If you do that, you could just sort of, you would be able to just nudge open the lock without busting it.
Okay. I'll do that then.
And in fact, I'm going to apply your bond, I am prudent onto that as an additional point. So, because you're being so careful about this, so as a result, it's going to be something that like it's just unlocked and anyone else can use it. And you know how to lock it as well.
All right. Great. Shall we go in, Rem?
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
So how many points of will do you have left?
I should have 3 left.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I open the door for you. We enter. First thing we see.
All right.
Looking, I have. How does it work if I spend points to be stealthy, since it's an ongoing thing?
It's just something that you would do ongoing.
Okay. 3 points in stealthy, just sort of trying to preserve my will just in case anything happens.
Yep. Yeah, so you open the door and you find yourself in a long tunnel. And I think I have...
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get a glass of water and get one before.
All right. Oh, okay. I saw that, Albatross.
So what?
What you said in chat.
Oh, yeah. Ha. Ha ha.
There we go. Yeah, so you open the door, you find yourself in a long tunnel. The walls are smooth, and um, it is kind of echoey, so you have to move very slowly. It is lit by fluorescent lights, so there's nowhere to hide yourself. So, in this case, stealth is just attempting to not make any noise. But if someone were to look down the tunnel, you would be clearly visible. And at the end of the tunnel is a small staircase.
Okay, and that's metal too, so yay for that.
Yeah.
So you just tiptoe slowly, very slowly. Just listening for any commotion. Rem, are you doing anything in particular?
I'd say Rem is probably focused on not making noise.
Yeah.
I'm
a good listener, but that doesn't really translate to like I can hear them from like 6 miles away. Kind of, I'm a good listener.
Actually, it does. Bonds can be applied like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So 2 meanings to it. Okay, that's actually gonna be really useful then.
Yep. Yeah, that's how that works.
I did not know that. That's actually pretty funny.
It is. Yeah.
So I can be using that. But I have 2 points in that bond.
Yeah. So you can use that to add it to a skill check, basically.
Could you repeat that? I didn't catch that.
You can use it and add it to a skill check.
Okay.
So if you're trying to listen, you don't have any points in listening. But if you were trying to use hyper focus to listen, that would go up to 5, and then because you're a good listener, go up to 7.
Okay, so if I use that, I'm gonna be able to hear what they're saying. And...
Yes.
Yeah, we can stop in our tracks. I'm just going to we slowly make our way. I'm just relaying this to you. You can agree or disagree if you wanna. Basically, just slowly make our way to the staircase. Once we get there, I will check, sort of just peek my head over the edge because it's not a big staircase. I imagine I could just lift myself up and sort of look both ways.
Yeah.
Without going up the staircase. And if there's no one and we can approach further, then we can stop in our tracks and you can listen, just like Kret said.
I don't see the harm in just using my points right now because I already have 5 points in hyperfocus, so I wouldn't be using.
I was just thinking closer to better, but okay, we can do that.
It'd be fine, whatever distance I'm from Kret, right? Or
well, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to listen to, right?
Are we still able to hear them distinctly talk, or is it?
Yeah, I mean it's muffled. They're definitely down here somewhere. But
okay. It was muffled for me with just the 3-point heightened senses thing.
Yeah, so
pointer would be
there's definitely people down here and talking. They seem to be at the end of the tunnel and to the left somewhere.
So then I don't see any harm in peeking our heads.
Yeah, no, they don't seem to be waiting at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, yeah, we can do that then.
Okay.
Down.
So
are we there? Yeah.
So you get to the end of the tunnel and you climb this and you look up the stairs. It's clear. You climb the stairs and you're on top of this sort of a little ledge thingy in a dark and empty room. To your left, there's another door. It is brown with rust and grime. And the walls around you are slick black bricks. But aside from that door, this room is essentially empty. There's some boxes and refuse, but not much else.
I can we can mess around with the boxes, open them up, see what's inside.
Yeah, they're just cardboard boxes. There's nothing in them.
Oh, okay. So some storage place, it kind of seems like it is, or...
Yeah. I mean, you don't really know what it is, because this still doesn't make sense, right? Why is this here? This is a maintenance tunnel that is not going to anything that maintenance cares about.
Okay.
Is there any way we can still talk to Albatross to see if he's still getting this weird feeling and maybe it'll become stronger as he delves into the maintenance tunnel?
I can make the tiny man just touch him. I can't do much with him since I didn't spend.
I mean, you
a
could go
lot
back
of
and get
points.
him.
Because it'd be helpful if you could kind of use the senses to say like it's getting darker or like the feeling's just getting stronger, which means we're like going somewhere with it. We could do that, or we could just keep going in. Or we could just keep walking too.
I don't think you'd be able to like keep up a steady pace. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to keep a steady pace? We could go back and
I'd
ask
probably
him, but
be
it's
able
not that.
If you guys did do that, I'd probably be able to keep up, but I wouldn't be much help if anything happened.
Mhm.
Like I'd kind of just be there.
Okay, then we can just keep on going, keep on walking. But if there's just only boxes,
Yeah, so...
but we know for sure it's not dormant right now because we hear something. So
Right, yeah, there's definitely people down here, and as I said, to the left, there's a door. It is coated with rust and grime.
You don't want to listen yet? The 7-pointer?
yeah, I can
Can we
listen.
stop?
I could start using the 7-pointer then.
Alright, you, so what, you're gonna, like, listen in the center of the room? Are you going up to the door? Where are you doing
I'm gonna go
this?
up to the door because that's probably where they are if they're not.
Alright,
Go
you
from
put
here.
your ear to the door, and you use a 7-point listen, which is something really effective, moving you a lot closer to your goals. You listen to this door through this door, and you hear 3 distinctive voices. They're not really arguing. I'd say bantering is the way to describe it. There are 2 men, one with a deeper voice. That is he. I guess you would call it a lisp. Like, he has some sort of speech impediment, right? Like, he is not talking properly. You have one man who is has a more high-pitched voice, and he speaks the most clearly of the 3 of them. And then there's a woman who speaks in a very sort of hoarse voice, but you can definitely tell that she is a woman. You hear these 3 people behind the door. They're also, moving around, walking, and yeah. One of them walks very heavily. The other 2 are walking fairly lightly.
Can I make out what they say, or just?
I mean, you can make out what they say, but it's nothing of importance, right? They're just like
Okay.
shooting the shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, assuming one of them is really heavy, we have to assume like this guy's maybe pretty strong, and then the other 2 people being light, can assume that they're not too strong either. But we can assume they're magical, right? Because they're inside this like odd maintenance tunnel, or they could just be maintenance
I
people
don't
as
know.
well. No clue.
I mean,
Okay.
listening
You can
is
assume
not.
whatever you want.
They're not like, this one time when I cast a spell.
Yeah. Okay. So it'd be a 50-50 chance if we were to like knock on the door, or maybe they're a little bit further in than just if we open the door. But
Yeah.
and we can't like per se win a fight, or our chances aren't like favorably in our favor. But we have nothing else to do but just go in. We can always take Albatross with us if there's going to be a fight. But
I could do something fancy if there's only 2 people. Since Craig just explained the whole applying bonds to skills thing.
we should do that then. Give it our best shot. Let's go in.
See, the thing
How's
is
that?
that I'm not sure how will works, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to faint. If I spend too much.
You do not have much will left.
I've got a ton of will left, but it's just not going to be very useful. All I have is chain whips and
Okay.
other stuff. So I think we should. But Albatross is also like pretty heavily affected by the environment. So in general, we're pretty weak, and if we were to go in, we were most likely not going to win anything if it comes to that combat scenario.
Well, what I wanted to do is sort of, I still have those bracers that
Mhm.
enhance my magical stuff. That don't affect anything, but I remember that I still have them. So basically what I want to do is use some shadow to 5 points To unhinge the door, I
Okay.
will apply the I am prudent to make it as quiet as possible.
Sure.
Can I apply I cannot fail?
No, you can only apply one bond.
Okay. So that would make it a 6-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to spend 2 more points of will,
Okay.
which should make it 8,
Sure.
so that it just goes as quick as possible. I don't know. Was he able to tell how big the room was?
It does sound very large. Like the voices are definitely echoing.
Are they close to each other? I know they're like walking around, but are they walking around each other? Because I imagine if it's very large, they'd have to be in close.
Yeah, they're
proximity.
fairly close to each other.
Okay, just as soon as I see them, I want the vine to basically fly at them as quick as possible, and not pierce through them, but pick them up and bring them to me.
Okay, so your intention is to bust open the door, shoot out a vine, grab the first person you see, and pull them to you.
With an 8-pointer, yes.
Okay.
With their mouths muffled. The vine just...
Oh, you're trying to grab somebody. Oh, I see. Okay. So are you just sort of like opening the door and grabbing the first person you see, or are you like trying to assess the situation first?
Well, I don't have anything towards like slowing time so I can assess the situation, so I don't think that would be very good for my life.
So you're just gonna grab the first person you see, basically.
That would not be good for me.
If you're able to grab all of them, I should be able to like. We can like interrogate them, you know. And with my hyper focus, I can kind of tell if they're lying or if they're not lying. They're just
Yeah, but then the other person goes and brings the cavalry.
And you're only able to take like 1 or 2 people right now, not all 3.
Well, basically, I have 1 point of will left.
Yeah.
Well, you'll
And
have 3 if you don't do this.
See, the thing is, like, that's why I was asking if they're in close proximity, because I would like the vine to just swoop both of them. If it's not able to grab them, then at least swoop both of them and like towards me, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard for it to encroach around them, but I mean, I don't imagine. But if you say it is, then just.
So the question is, are you gonna go ahead and do it or not?
I am gonna fucking go for it, yes.
Alright, you're gonna do it. So, you open the door. And, oh wow, I totally forgot to move you guys to this tunnel. Here, look at that tunnel. You open the door. And when you open the door, you see...
I basically would take a split second to assess the situation. If they're close enough to each other, I'm swooping them both. If not, I'm grabbing one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, you open the door and you see a large room. Not as brightly lit as this, but essentially the same layout. So a large room with many, many pillars. Dirt, dust, and grime all over the place. It's not well kept. In the center of the room, there are 3, or in front of you, there are 3 people. One is a large hulking man, wearing a green vest. The 2 smaller ones, a man and a woman, both also wearing a green vest. You have an instant to choose which person do you grab. Who do you grab?
The woman.
Alright, you grab the woman, the vine shoots out, like the door slams open, you look and see who it is, the vine shoots out and grabs her, wraps around her, and pulls her to you. She is right next to you. You recognize this woman as the woman that you fought outside of the city hall.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
I walked in with you, right? So they see me as well.
Yeah, you're next to her.
and I'm already like trying to assess the situation with my hyper focus, but there really isn't much I can do right now. So more dialogue is added.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
woman is in front of you. She is wrapped with a vine. What do you do?
Okay, what are the other two doing that just saw me? I just witnessed me.
The large one turns and starts running at you. You notice that the skin on his face is like half peeled off, and it's really gross. The smaller one is taking off his vest.
Okay, so obviously they're ready for combat. I'm just gonna use another 5-pointer of shadow to just make a wall where the door was.
Okay.
Or rather, I'm gonna use the 5-pointer to put the door back and seal it with my shadow magic.
Okay, so yeah, you sort of like slam the door shut and then cover it with a wall of shadow.
Yeah, the vine is still around the woman.
Yes.
I grab Rem by the hand and the vine with me, and I just get the fuck out of there.
Okay.
So we out.
Sure, you are running carrying this woman. A large tattoo on her back is starting to glow.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to take her with us? We know she's powerful, and do we have the means necessary to take her?
If you guys can get out, I'll be there to help subdue her.
I make the man at the door dance so that Albatross knows that something's going on, and hopefully he just comes through the door to help us with this lady.
All right. Actually, the moment you slammed the door and covered it with shadow, that guy would cease to exist.
Yes.
Because that would be doing two things at once.
All right.
So that would probably notify Albatross.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Albatross, this guy like just disappears. What do you do?
I will use my bond. I'm a daredevil to just
Okay.
run in their gung ho.
All right.
Save them.
Yeah, you charge down the hallway fast as you can. You probably like also use wind elementalism just to push you a little bit faster. Just by creating
I have a skill for running, so I'll use that.
Oh, you're gonna use that instead? Okay, what's your running skill?
The same. It's level 3, so it's one higher.
Okay, it's
7
level
total.
3, and then yeah, you would add your daredevil on top of that. So you just go shooting down this corridor.
I go Usain Bolt.
And you actually like basically like jump in 2 hops, just get to the top of the staircase and skid to a stop, ready to go.
I just say knock her out. Knock her the fuck out.
Well, if she says that, I guess I'd probably use my magic ring or whatever to get my bow and just punch her in the face with it.
All right, so you just materialize
That's my
this
best
bow
bet.
and punch her in the face with it.
Yeah.
My boy.
What skill are you using to do that?
I guess I could use my elementalism and use wind to kind of push it.
Okay.
And I'll use, if I really want to knock her the fuck out, I'll use 4 will as well.
Okay. Are you using wind or earth? Because I think they would both be applicable here.
I think wind to try and make it move faster.
Okay, sure.
It's
So
propel it.
you materialize the bow in your right hand. You summon wind, and it wraps around your fist, and you just punch her in the face, dropping 4 points of will on it, and the light that was glowing from her tattoo just goes out, and she's unconscious. At the door, there are like big fists, sort of like man, it's sort of like the shadow is like someone punching a screen of like fabric or something, right? Like you can see fists like coming through it. We're gonna take our first break here, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes and see what happens. So stay tuned.
Ooh.
And we're back. So when we just left off, you knocked this heavily tattooed explosive energy woman out. There is a shadow wall covering the door. Are you gonna dissipate the vine wrapped around her, or are you leaving that?
Not before I do some horrible things to her tattoo, just in case it is
She is
disabled.
covered in tattoos, from head to toe.
I don't care. I scratch her all over.
Okay. All right.
I'm not taking any risks. I scratch her all over, as deep as a wound can be without it being deadly.
Yeah, I don't think you could without killing her. Like, she is covered in tattoos.
I could, as like as a safety measure, I could like focus on her and make sure that she doesn't try any like cheeky stuff, and see if I can like predict what she does, or if I can like. I have 5 points of hyper focus. I'm sure I could find some way to figure out.
Yeah,
if
you
she
could
gets
sort of like
confused.
monitor her breathing or something.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'm still
sounds like a better alternative
Minor
to
scratches
killing her.
then. Minor scratches then,
Minor scratches. So you're just gonna, I guess, deface all of her tattoos.
pretty much.
Are you just doing this to all of her visible skin, or are you like doing this to her entire body?
Entire body. Where there's clothes, I'm pricking and doing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you sort of like wrap her in a thorn bush,
Yep.
I guess.
Getting kind of hentai-ish with you talking about the whole body, vines.
Alright, so you sort of wrap her in a thorn bush, and she's sort of bleeding from surface wounds all over. She takes 2 surface wounds of damage, and her tattoos are completely defaced. And then so the shadow covering the door is just like getting pummeled, right? Like you can see it, just fists sort of reaching through and then getting pulled back. So it's sort of like the
Yeah.
it's a clear sort of thing, and then it's just like bam, fist comes through.
Okay, so we're running out of time. Rem, can you focus on this lady and see if she has any of those artifacts that we saw that give people who work for, I was gonna say Emilito. It is not Emilito, it's Mortimer.
Mortimer, yeah.
They work for Mortimer power, because we know that their power comes from artifacts. And if the artifacts are the tattoos, I hope I took care of them.
All right, I'm focusing.
She does not have any artifacts on her.
Okay, Wolf, if I make holes in, like tiny holes in the shadow, can you shoot arrows through them?
Yeah. Pretty good with the bow, so
Alright.
shouldn't
Okay.
be a problem.
Where the fists are coming from, a bit higher, so you get his head.
Okay.
Okay,
I will
you ready?
start unloading as soon as you do it.
Okay, I make the opening for his arrow.
Alright, you make a small opening, and sure enough, Albatross does fire an arrow through it. God, they're lightning arrows, aren't they?
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
So a bolt of lightning streaks through it, and on the other side crashes. You hear thunder, and then you hear the roar of a bear, and
There again.
the shadow covering the door like sort of pops, and just a metal steel door is just chucked into the room, and it just sort of like hits the ground and skids and goes flat in like a massive bang. The very large man is sort of like panting heavily and begins to charge at Rem.
No, not me.
But we're all together, aren't we? Oh man.
Yeah, I guess charge at all 3 of you, really.
Well, I don't get distracted when I'm focusing. I'm still focusing on the girl, right? On that.
Well, I
So
guess
I don't know.
I
only
will
have
be
points in
the
it.
savior, and I will use my daredevil to jump in front to try and stop him from hitting everyone else. 'cause
What rank is
I
your
know
daredevil?
Rem's frail. 4.
Alright, you regain 4 points of will.
Yeah.
You jump in front of the chart, or really you more like jump and push Rem out of the way. You get hit
Yeah.
square on by this guy's shoulder charge and crumple to the ground, taking a surface wound. You have a bruised rib.
Is he not conscious anymore?
He's conscious.
But in,
Alright. I'm gonna use a 5-pointer, and okay. So my plan is 5-point shadow summoner. So you said I can't apply. I cannot fail to it.
No,
Okay, I will.
because you could
it
apply
on-
that to everything. right? Like, I cannot fail is I cannot fail is like if you're not going to succeed at something and you apply more will to it, you could also apply I cannot fail. Because you're refusing to be defeated at something.
It's like Vegeta.
Yeah.
It's like Naruto. You just keep getting more tails, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody?
Exactly.
All right. No. But you didn't watch Naruto. Don't act like you
No, I
understand.
didn't. I had a friend in college who used to knit and watch Naruto in the evening.
Oh my god.
That's pretty.
It's the hipsterest thing you could possibly do.
Okay. Since I'm not getting will back from anything, it's just going to be with my braces a 5-point sort of like hail of piercing arrowheads towards the bear.
All right. Yeah,
The guy.
you just sort of unleash these piercing bolts of shadow at him. He sort of starts like batting them away like this, and with each swing of their arm, like shadow starts spraying everywhere, and he starts like walking towards you.
Okay, I hope you guys follow me when I do this, but I make my way towards the end of the tunnel. I pretty much just like sneak my way through the like ledge of the stairs.
Okay,
and go
so you're
through
just sort of like walking back down the tunnel.
Well, we need more space. It's kind of cramped in there. It looks really cramped at
Yeah.
the top of the stairs. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, the closed space might be good to fight the bear.
Mhm.
Are you guys doing anything?
I'm just kind of favoring my side.
In the back, the smaller guy who is now shirtless, he has a big blank spot on his chest where there was a bear tattoo. And he.
But we don't know that, right?
Well, no, because it's sort of like the outline of a bear, right? Because I mean,
Oh,
all of these three guys are covered in tattoos, and this one dude has a very clear blank spot, and you're like, there was something there. He starts chanting, and another one of his tattoos starts glowing. It's a tiger.
Oh shit. Alright, so if I hold the bear down for like as little as possible as I can any of you guys do something about the guy chanting and tigering in the back?
I
I
can
could
hit him.
try.
I have chain whips that have like a pretty long range that I can.
Do it.
Yeah. I'm attacking.
All
I'm
right.
just trying to like stop him from doing whatever.
So
he's
you
doing.
just sort of like charge this guy.
I keep my distance, so I'm like a foot away or something. but I
Okay,
have,
all
like,
right,
too
yeah,
much to,
yeah.
like-
So you like engage him, like you get close and you're just sort of battering him. He
Yeah. They're not like big hits, but they're enough to like. I at least I'd hope so to like distract him from the chanting and take
okay.
his focus somewhere else.
Yeah, he sort of covers himself and starts chanting in a completely different rhythm. And Albatross, what are you doing?
I guess I'll just try and use my bow because I'm kind of injured now, so I'll just try and shoot supporting shots.
Who are you shooting at?
The guy chanting.
All right, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
you're shooting at this guy chanting, and you start unleashing bolts of lightning at him. He you see like a tattoo from his back just sort of like pops off into the air, and there's sort of a visible sort of the head and upper body of a gazelle, and he like just jumps clean over Rem. The dude with the bear has a tattoo of a chain around his wrist, and he just sort of grabs the end of it and unwinds it and starts swinging it in circles as he approaches Illyria.
Okay. I I'm going to do my best to move out of the way. I don't have any athletic skills or anything, so I just sort of like bring like a 5-point vine out of the ground, and I grab the hand that is swinging the chain and forcefully pull him down to the ground, so I can move closer to my companions and move out
Okay.
of the way of his assault.
So you're trying to basically get around him.
Yes.
All right, yeah, you're able to get around him, but like the moment you pass him, he just sort of rips his hand back, and the vine breaks.
Yeah, that's very much what I expected to happen. But while the vine is holding him down,
Mhm.
can I like mount him from behind? Just like mount his back.
No, you don't have time. Like you run past him, and he just sort of spins, and you just barely avoid getting like hit by a massive back fist.
All right. I'm guessing you two are in the room now, since the tiger gazelle guy was in the room.
Yeah,
The
he
big
is still there.
room. What is he doing? Is he still chanting?
Yes, he is still chanting.
Is he rooted while he's chanting?
No, he's probably he's probably still moving, just sort of slow. Yeah, he's probably slowly moving.
Slowly moving. Okay, so he's not very agile or very fast.
Not right now.
Albatross, could you like use some wind to propel me onto him, like really, really fast? So fast, in fact, that he doesn't have time to react. Like, how much will would it take to do that?
I guess I could use 2 will and try and use a 4 to push you. But I don't know. That's it's effective, so I guess that would be good.
Yeah, I mean it would do it. Sure.
Okay, so you push me and I pounce him. And as soon as I pounce him, I waste no time in wrapping my hands around his head and just making vines shoot out of my hands and into his, basically trying to get into his skull, into his mouth, into his eyes,
Okay.
scalp, everything.
Um. He is going to jump straight up and sort of like bashes. He jumps straight up, and like since you're grabbing a hold of him, you go with him. Your back hits the ceiling and you fall down. You take a surface wound, but he stumbles to the ground, just barely escaping your vines.
Man, I wish I had a will.
I can figure out like the general direction that he's gonna run in for maybe like how long.
Sure. Yeah, you could totally do that.
Yeah, because I have my focus and I'm a good listener, so I can like hear steps. But do we have any way of like catching up with him? We still have like Albatross's
No,
wind.
he's like he hits the ground and he is like stumbling, like he's like on one knee, standing back up.
So I can do that again.
No, because you just hit the ground too.
Yeah.
He's recovering faster than you are.
Right.
Basically, you fucked him up a little bit, and he fucked you up a decent amount.
Yeah.
All right. So while I'm trying to get up, you guys, what are you guys up
Yeah,
to?
what are you guys doing?
Well, so there's a bear and a gazelle in the room as well as the 2 guys, right?
No, there are just 2 guys.
Oh,
There's a big guy and there's a small guy.
The things they cast are gone now? Okay.
No, right, they're just images
Oh, they're
that
not
he leaves in the air. Yeah.
I guess I would try and just shoot more arrows at the guy who's getting up.
Okay, yeah. Are you using any will or any magic, or are you just shooting the basic arrows?
I'll use my ranged weaponry skill as well as the bow.
Okay. What skill does that go to, then? What's your
That's
ranged weaponry?
3. For the ranged weaponry, 3.
All right, so yeah, you just unleash a barrage of arrows at him. He uses, all right. there's like the shape of an elephant appears in the air, and he's just sort of absorbing it on his back, but he's still having some trouble standing up.
Have I stood up by this point?
Yeah, you're standing.
And at this point, since like I was focused on using my chain whips on somebody that already had like transformed into something else.
Yeah.
Right now, I could like, I don't really think I can be like attacking anybody because everybody's like moving and stuff, and it's tough for me to focus on one person.
I mean, you could. Yeah, I mean, it's your call. What do you want to do?
I kind of want to just like assess the situation and how my pals do that, like call out stuff like who's weak right now, or
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
so
know how useful it'll be, but
well, you take a look at the situation. The smaller man is working on standing back up. He is getting barraged by lightning bolts from Albatross. The larger man is walking back down the hallway, and he begins walking up the stairs to the sort of ledge area that you guys are on.
but everybody else is busy, right? So I can
Yeah.
go up and follow him.
No, he's walking towards you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're on the ledge. He's walking up the stairs towards it.
Like to attack me and
Everyone, yeah.
everyone. All right. Well, I won't be able to defend myself against them. So
You
I'm
could
gonna-
try.
I can try with like my 2-level chain whips, but I have a pretty frail body.
Well,
so.
what about hyperfocus? You could focus
Yeah, I
on
could use
defending
that
yourself.
to see where like to try and predict his attacks and move. But that would be like that kind of combat would have to be like go in between you and me, and I'd have to like. How would that work?
Well, it can just be maintained, right? Like, so basically, what would happen is if I'm like he swings his arm and you're like, okay, use hyperfocus to dodge it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, he swings his other arm, and you're like, okay, I use hyperfocus to dodge it, and we could just be like, okay, that just goes back and forth until
Yeah.
something else happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess we're just doing that. But if I take like a meaningful hit, I'd be out of it since I have 3 points.
Right, but he's probably not going to hit you because he's big and slow, and you can see like what he's going to do
Yeah.
before he's
Okay.
gonna do it.
So we're just doing that for now. We're like,
Yeah, so I guess like he gets to the top of the stairs, and you just sort of engage him and are parrying and avoiding his swings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. I mean that's useful because he's not attacking the other people.
Right.
on my-
Yeah.
So.
So,
Alright, so I'll be like, oh, I got this guy or something.
what is Illyria doing? You've stood back up.
I stood back up. I'm looking at that guy. I'm guessing he's like crouching, sort of.
Yeah,
trying-
he's sort of like getting up one leg at a time, very slowly.
one leg at a time, but he is focused on using his elephant thing for the arrows, right?
Mhm.
Pretty much. Can I? Okay, with my heightened senses, I assess his position. Like pretty much, I hope like at least accurately enough for me to make a vine come out of the ground and grab his tongue
His tongue.
and rip it out.
I thought you said junk for a second.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
No chanting for you, motherfucker.
Yeah, you
That's pretty useful.
you grab his tongue with a vine. He struggles, but the vine closes around his tongue and it cuts it, and you tear his tongue out. He sort of releases a muffled scream, and he falls over and passes out.
All right.
The large bear person also, or the very large man also passes out. And Rem just barely backsteps to avoid getting crushed by this large man who just goes.
So they're
Alright.
all unconscious now? Okay.
Yeah, they're all unconscious.
Nice.
Good for us.
I guess we have kind of 2 options.
Actually, the very large man rapidly dies.
Okay then.
Because he didn't have a face.
That guy sounds like he had an encounter with Dio before.
Was he the guy that he wasn't the person that got his tongue ripped out, right?
No.
That was a
But the
small
person
guy.
who had his tongue ripped out was the only thing keeping him alive.
Mm-hmm.
So when he went unconscious, big guy died.
Ripping past.
Yeah, what happens when he sleeps? Jesus, what a rough life.
You can maintain a spell while you're sleeping.
Subconsciously.
I guess. All right. Good work, everyone.
Well, so now do we want to continue trying to go down this tunnel or whatever now that they're gone, or do we want to try and take these guys back somewhere?
If we're gonna continue going down it, we're gonna have to kill them.
Probably. But then, like, we don't get any info for them, so we could either continue, get rid of them forever, or we could try and take them to Julian to interrogate them and find out what they know.
We're killing Mortimer. Well, I'm not killing anyone with 1 point of
Well,
will.
we gotta interrogate them. I mean, I can
Yeah.
do a pretty good job of that.
Okay,
with my head
let's
And they're still
go.
unconscious, so I think we should probably go.
We're not interrogating anyone without a tongue, though, unless they have a mentalist at Julian's place, which they might actually. He has a lot of acolytes, doesn't he?
And we can't
Alright.
and we killed the girl too, so yeah.
Nice punch, by the way. She's still unconscious. I mean, we made a lot of noise. I'm not gonna lie.
They call me Ray Rice.
All right, let's pick him up and hit the road. Back
Hit
to
the road, Jack.
All right. Yeah, you carry these people back through the subway.
I guess this would be kind of suspicious.
It's pretty.
I
Like,
recently watched an anime where a girl used wind to like cover up her sword. Could I do that on their bodies?
No, but that's a good anime.
you know what he's
Yeah,
talking about?
Fate's awesome.
You're fucking weird, Cat.
What's the anime?
Watch Naruto, but watch this whatever.
It's
Oh,
Fate.
Spirited Away. Are you talking about Spirited Away?
No, it's Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, Fate's Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero.
Yeah, and Fate. Well, there's a lot of them. Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we call a taxi? Go to somewhere where we have some sort of reception. Call a taxi
What
and
about our
we
Uber
can use this
driver?
like.
I guess it's
Oh,
late.
yeah,
so
like,
pretend
that
they
just-
got wasted or passed out.
Yeah, I mean, you call Elijah, I guess.
But
Um,
like, he's in on this whole magic stuff, from what I gathered.
Elijah hasn't really commented on any of the weird shit you've done.
Yeah, he's
Alright.
pretty weird himself. Like,
Can we like just sort of like use Albatross's wind and like just store my way to the taxi just fast enough so that anyone who sees us just like thinks, oh, that was just a thing out of the corner of my eye or something, or oh, I
No,
must have imagined that.
no, you can't move that quickly.
yeah, we're too heavy.
Magic.
Well, subways have multiple entrances though.
I mean, yeah, you could maybe have like someone scout ahead and like do sort of stealth your way there by like avoid or distracting people and like waiting around corners and stuff. You could try and do that, I guess.
All right, I scout ahead, and you guys watch out for me. I make my way ahead and see what's up around the exit. What do I see?
Yeah, so you get to the door. There's a few people walking past, but eventually they pass and you're able to... Actually, you'd probably just sort of use your shadow magic to, like, summon, like, a rat or something, or a mouse, and sort of have that scout ahead for you. And then, like, when no one was there, you'd move forward a little bit, stuff like that.
All right, I'll do that.
Sort of, like, you know, moving from one hiding place to the next until eventually you find yourself hidden in a supply closet by the entrance to the subway station, where there is a police officer standing there.
Is it a male or female police officer?
Well, let's check the NPC randomizer.
And also,
Oh.
you have to remember, we have to know if they're straight or homosexual. It is very important.
It's a male police officer.
Well, I'm no help then. I guess I could try and distract him by making some jokes or something, because I'm funny. But that's about all.
I could pretend to faint, just like a few feet over.
That probably would. Like that's sure.
Yeah, sure. So that you guys could sneak, and then when he comes over, I'm like, "No, I'm fine. Stop touching me. Police abuse. Help!" and run away.
Okay. So you pretend to faint, I guess. A bunch of people like crowd around you. The police officer runs over and like nudges you and is like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Okay, get your hands off me.
And you look up and you're like about to start your con and you realize he is Julian's face and you're very confused.
He is Julian's face.
Yeah.
And you guys made your way out already?
I guess so, yeah. Or making our way out at least. I don't know how far we had to go.
It's Julian's face, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of people. Can I look at his badge to see his name?
It says Officer Jenkins.
Officer Leroy Jenkins?
No, it's just it randomized to Jenkins.
Oh, it actually.
Yeah.
His name's actually Jenkins. That's awesome.
I can't remember Julian's last name though.
Tabernacle.
No, Julian's
that's
last
Steve.
name.
Oh, Julian,
is
yeah,
Young. His last name is Young.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. I guess I have no choice. I have to brush past him.
No, he just sort of like helps you up or he offers you a hand to help you up, I guess. Do you accept it or do you like run off or?
Well, since I'm so confused, I don't know. I'm literally confused right now. I don't know. I feel like this is a test right now. Okay. No, I stand up on my own. I just say that I have vertigo or something, and
Strong, independent white woman.
true.
And then so you just sort of run off, I guess.
I guess I could do some quick like heightened senses preliminary testing on him, just sort of just catch his scent, catch anything characteristic about him.
There's definitely something very strange, but you don't know what.
Well, I really don't have time to waste though. They're waiting for me in the taxi with Elijah, and we have to interrogate these people. So as strange as it is, I know I have my priorities right now.
Sure.
So I just like leave with the information I have and join Albatross and Grim.
All right, you so you dip and hop in Elijah's cab.
And while we're in the cab, I'm like, guys, did you notice that police officer like really looked like Julian, like pretty much twins?
I'm gonna good look at him.
Do you think it would be prudent to ask Julian about it?
I think we could mention it.
Right. Well, his name was Officer Jenkins, and he was
Officer Jenkins.
Yep, and he was stationed like right there that night, so at least we know that if we ever want to find out more.
Yeah.
Okay. So we head to Julian's place, I guess, to drop these two off.
All right, you head to Julian's place. You show up at the door with two unconscious people.
Mangled.
Yeah, Julian is there sitting in the Great Hall as usual. He watches you enter and is just sort of like, well, that's interesting.
These guys again. I guess I'll take Dio's role of being the one to go up to talk to him this time and be like, hey, you know, we met some people in the subway. They're our new friends. We want you to ask them some questions if you could when they wake up. They're having a nap right now.
Julian just sort of walks over, and he is walking a lot more gingerly than usual. Really,
Gingerly?
yeah, like really supporting himself with his cane. He walks over to them and motions for some acolytes to pick them up and walk them into a back room, and he turns and looks at you and says,
It's your boy.
"You've done a great deal of good by capturing these two."
Good thing we didn't kill them then.
Could have made a difference, but I guess yeah.
So on to the next one.
Was there anything else you would have me do?
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about something. Do you have a twin brother?
No.
Okay,
Well,
that was
But
weird. Then.
do you know an
possession is a wonderful thing.
So we were there the whole time. So we didn't even have to distract you, did we?
Hmm?
Never mind. I am very confused. I'm thoroughly confused.
He just sort of like walks back over to his chair and sits down and says, "If there's anything else you need of me, you know where to find me."
Thank you, sir. We are grateful. We really are. All right, guys. Moving on to the next one.
Yeah. Can we check the map out again?
Yeah, I gotta be right back. Just you check the map out. I'm gonna be right back.
Well, you didn't actually investigate the room behind them at all.
Yeah, there's the place behind them.
And then there's one
Other
more place
than
on the map.
Yeah.
So we go back to the room.
I feel like if we go back right now, they probably discovered the dead guy by now. So it might be a little risky if you guys want to go there.
I mean, we could just take a brief trip over there and listen in, and if there's anyone, like if there's anyone already there catching on to stuff, then we can just move on to
Yeah.
whatever else we got to do. But if there's no one, then we can just go in and like hide our traces and just investigate.
Yeah.
Go back.
Sounds good to me.
All right, you guys hop back in Elijah's cab and head back to Bowery, to the subway tunnels. You find yourselves back in the tunnels, listening as you go, and this time not really hearing anything ahead of you.
It's cool. Why do you want me to have Why do you have
You walk down to the end of the tunnel,
They didn't have a top.
not really hearing anything. The door is still ripped off its hinges, and there's still a large dead man on the ground.
Well, I guess I'll burn the dead man. So he's.
He is too heavy for you to do anything but drag.
Oh yeah.
He is like 300 pounds of...
No, I said I'll burn him.
Oh, burn him. Oh, okay.
Not bury, yeah, burn.
Yeah, you burn him. It takes a while, and it's very gross and smelly.
Yeah.
So you're doing that. What's everyone else doing?
Okay. I see it's empty. And Albatross, I advise you to also use some wind afterwards. Just air out the place, please. Please.
I guess I'll try.
Okay. I'm basically just looking around and also using like another 5 points sort of shadow thing, just mice running around looking for anything else that I might have missed in nooks and crannies and just covering the areas that I can't. So I just look around, use my heightened senses and my mice to...
So you're checking this room, or you're checking the next room where they were before you so rudely interrupted them?
Oh, we're in the big room right now, right?
No,
Where
you're...
I died.
Sling Blade.
Yeah, you're in the room with the tunnel. But
This
then
book was
there's...
published in like 2006. It was Sling Blade.
And then there's the room on the other side. There's this one.
So are we in that one or in the...
No, you're not in this room yet.
Okay, in this one. I meant this one.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, you investigate this room, And in the back, you find a summoning circle, much like the one that you encountered on the island. Except this one is, for some reason,
Oh, shit.
deeply unsettling.
So now I know what Henry was talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Quite frankly, I don't have the courage to make the executive decision to try it out in comparison to the other one, just because it's so unsettling. But I imagine I have a phone, right?
You do have a phone. Yeah.
Can I take some pictures of it for Julian?
Sure.
I'll do that, and for Jason and for Julian. I'll just take like a couple pictures before it disappears. And is there anything else in there?
There's like yeah, there's there are little there's basically these little jars at the back that are sort of set on, I guess, a workbench near the summoning circle. And the jars contain marbles, much like the ones that you created on the island.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and like make some stuff again, like we did previously, right?
That would be really risky. I really just want to destroy that circle. That is not a good circle.
Fine.
Am I done with the body yet?
No, you are still burning. Yeah, it takes a long time. Very hot. Actually, you probably would have to use will.
I will then, however much it
Yeah,
takes.
I would take like 4 points of will.
You're burning a body.
Yes.
All right. So the marbles. I try to pick one of the jars up.
It's touching the jar is painful.
Touching the. Okay. What if I coat my palms with shadow?
Yeah, you coat your palms with shadow and you lift up the jar. You can feel it sort of, you can feel raw magic buffering against your hand.
Okay. The jar just contains a soul marble, or is it some sort of liquid that's floating in?
It contains multiple marbles.
Oh, damn. And there's like a workbench full of them.
Yeah, there's a workbench with like 3 or 4 jars like it on top of them.
Well, I don't want them here so that they can retrieve them. So I'll just, if I look around once more, will I find anything else of interest?
No, that's it. You do notice that the workbench is on wheels, though. You could maybe like wheel it somewhere.
Okay, I go back to the circle and I look at it once more. And how is it made? Like, is it drawn or is it embedded in the cement?
It's drawn on the ground in some sort of powder.
Okay, can I try to like wipe it with my feet? Just sort of
It
make it.
smudges when you touch it with your feet, but it doesn't go away. I mean, you could like smudge it, yeah.
Okay, I'll just make cracks in it and smudge it. It's not like it's that hard to reconstruct, but I just don't want it to be there.
Okay, yeah, you just mess with it and you just sort of like smudge the whole thing. Eventually, you like find like a piece of wood or something, and you use that to just like smudge it a little bit faster. And yeah, you're able to disrupt the circle to the point where you feel like you don't feel any power from it anymore.
Okay. So I do that. I go back to the hallway. Check on Albatross. Are you done with the body?
Albatross is probably like built like a little oven out of earth.
Like, 1 minute.
Okay, so you're saying that the jars can be wheeled, right?
Yeah, they're on a workbench that has wheels.
Okay, so if we can wheel it, in order for it to be transported, though, we can't walk with them. So can I make like a cloth? Like, you know, in old-timey movies, the things that, like, sort of like a cloth on a stick that people would have on their back when they traveled or something.
Oh,
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Except without the stick, you just hold the cloth in your hand. It's probably going to be really, really heavy, so...
Yeah, that would be very heavy.
could you separate it into like 3, and we can each take one?
I mean, there's a workbench that you can just wheel.
He
I
does
just thinking about...
because there's stairs. Okay, there's stairs.
Well, you carry the workbench down the stairs.
It's still heavy then.
Yeah,
That's actually
Yes.
heavier because you have to carry the workbench as well.
sure.
I'll just do the cloth.
Alright.
I'll do the cloth, and we can, like, switch between us since it's so heavy. We'll just take, like, turns carrying it, and when it's up the stairs, 2 people are going to grab it and
Sure.
heave over it, and... yeah, basically we're just waiting on the body. Because that's all we're doing.
Yeah, so you walk this stuff out. Albatross just sort of finishes up. And I guess probably like snaps his fingers and the little oven that he made crumbles. So it's just a pile of dirt and ash. And you're carrying this very heavy sort of cloth bag out of the subway. You just return all the way to the street.
Okay, so now the question is, we've got these, but truth be told, guys, I don't know if we can fully trust Julian. Jason is also sort of in the air right now. I know that he doesn't really want New York to disappear because he's got a club here, but that doesn't really wash away all of his other sins. So I think the only one we can trust with these marbles is Henry, truth be told, because he's in his own world and he's helped us a lot, and he seems sort of innocent and kooky enough to just want to research these things or something.
Henry was the one we met when we first saw the circle, right?
Yeah.
Henry is the one. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he's who helped us make our weapon.
And we know how to go back there.
Henry is a multiple mile long serpent. Yes.
Yep.
Which, well, if we go by symbolism, he's not trustworthy either, to be honest.
Well, he's a snake that at one point gave me cat ears, so I like him. Cat ears.
You took a surface wound from it, though. It wasn't like...
Temporary. No, I took a surface one because I lost my cat ears. And I was sad.
No, you took a surface wound from getting the cat ears.
I know. I took two. I had one, and then it changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so the conclusion is I really don't think we can trust anyone of these.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I
I guess we
assume
could
you
technically just keep them.
call
for ourselves.
Elijah.
Yeah, well, we're calling Elijah. We'll talk more on the camp. But basically, they all seem to frown upon what Mortimer is doing. They all frown upon what Mortimer is doing. They say it's unclean. They say it's unnatural. They seem disgusted by it, but we've seen that this is power. Like,
I mean, I guess we could just keep it at like one of our houses or something.
how about we don't know how to harness this power either, so even if we give them just one jar, that would be damage enough.
Eliza shows up outside the subway station that you're waiting at. He is driving he's driving like a Mustang, right? Like an American Muscle.
Damn.
Yeah, he's my new best friend.
He shows up and says, and hops out of the car and says,
Nice driving, son.
carrying luggage. Let me help you with that.
No,
he, like,
no,
pops
no,
his
we
trunk.
got it. No, we got it. We got it.
He pops his
Well-
trunk open for you and says, You should put that in the trunk.
Hmm.
Why should I? I can just, can't you see it? It's a tiny bag. I can have it on my lap.
Because if those should get knocked around while we're driving, very bad things could happen.
Wouldn't they be more likely to get knocked around in the trunk?
I'm just
He
saying.
pops open his trunk, and there's like this little sort of crystal enclosure. It sort of looks like a test tube rack. That has like a little lid on it, and he says, I know how to carry those.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
I mean, Elijah's been a pretty nice guy. I like Elijah.
Yeah, but the only place I've ever seen jars of marbles is in this place, and they're not the most clean marbles. And he says he knows how to handle them.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just hold them. To be honest, hold them very tightly in my lap.
All right,
Fine,
well,
if you want, you're holding them, so I guess it doesn't matter if I trust them.
where are you
And
gonna take
I
them?
can always make the bag like tighten around them so they are extra safe. I can just hold them in one place.
Where are you gonna take them?
Okay, so even Elijah seemed to know what the heck I was carrying there. So, what do you guys think? Where should we take them?
And that's not me asking, by the way. That's Elijah.
Yeah, it's Elijah asking where we're gonna go.
And I look around, like I'm still torn about showing them to anyone who's helped us until now.
I don't know. I think Jason is the best personally, if you're gonna trust someone. Because he's the one who kind of, like, you got it all rolling for us to stop him.
I like Henry though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know much about him, but everything we have seen from him is pretty good.
And in order to help us, Jason had to take us to both Henry and Julian.
You
He
can
has
always give
helped
them to
us.
me.
We could. I wouldn't.
What are you gonna do with them?
I'm gonna make a rocket car
That sounds great. Please.
and bring an
Then we
era
can get
of
around
peace and
faster.
prosperity to Quebec.
I'll be right back.
If he gets a rocket car, he can move faster. Come on, guys.
And he mentioned Quebec too. Isn't that a bit too appealing? Doesn't that sound a bit too much like seducing?
Quebec is great. Just kidding. Everyone in Canada hates Quebec.
That's
So
why
that
it
it's
needs an
not-
era of peace and prosperity.
I know. That's why it's not appealing, because no one likes Quebec. So therefore, I can tell it's legit. He's a good guy. It's not appealing if he's trying to help Quebec.
You know what? Still have to decide where to go with these. So how about we just hop on into the cab and we just head to Julian's and talk on the way.
Okay. It would be faster if we had a rocket car.
I mean, see, the thing is that we haven't had much interaction with Elijah, guys. He's just been our taxi guy. And now all of a sudden, he says he's handled these things before. So I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, if you want to go to Julian, I guess we'll go to Julian.
Hilarious.
You know what, Elijah?
Hilarious.
I mean, you've been driving us around these places all the time. If you were in any way associated with Mortimer, they'd kind of be waiting for us at every location we're at.
I'm not associated with Mortimer. I'm a neutral party.
Neutral party.
Can you guys hear the background noise by any chance?
Yeah.
The TV.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna mute my mic. I'll like unmute it.
Alright. We'll hold on to them for now. Let's just go to Julian's.
All right. Yeah,
Can we talk to Elijah on the way? Like,
Yeah, sure. You're driving your way to Julian's.
alright, Elijah, how did you instantly know what I had in the bag?
Because I've seen those before.
You've seen black bags
I
filled
can't.
with stuff before.
Your shadow magic isn't that powerful. I mean, come on.
That is compared to some other things I've seen, yeah. Okay. How do you know how to handle them? then. I mean,
I know how to do a
where
lot
are
of
we going
things.
with that?
Transportation is my business.
Oh, you're like the
Fine.
transporter. Oh, that's great. I'm just gonna call. And you're bald too, Jason Statham.
He's not bald.
Elijah isn't, but you are, Cred.
Nobody can be bald but me.
That's why Proxy's gone. Conspiracy confirmed.
Yeah, so
Alright.
Goodness.
my business is transporting things.
But your business isn't storing things either.
I don't know how to. It's not about storing. I was going to use them. Like I said, I'm going to make a rocket car and bring an air of peace and prosperity to Quebec.
Why Quebec?
How
Because
would the
it needs
rocket car
one.
help that? How would the rocket car help that?
That's a very involved process.
Like, I mean, I guess you could. Yeah. I don't know.
I'll hold on to them. Thank you very much, though, for
You know what?
offering. And
I'll
for
keep
the
you in
good.
mind if we ever find some more or something happens with these ones. I'll keep you in mind, Elijah.
That is certainly the most noble purpose I've heard for them. But I don't think humans.
Oh, there are many noble purposes for those.
There are many nobles.
Oh my god.
It occurs to you that Elijah's laugh is the most annoying laugh you have ever heard in your entire life.
Oh my god.
I haven't read at Julian's yet.
Yeah, you end up outside. Elijah says, "Here's your stop." I would not recommend bringing those inside.
Can you like permanently transport these in your trunk and just not use them, not show them to anyone?
You know what? I think we can make a deal. I think we can give you 1 or 2 marbles, maybe, if you safe keep them for us. The
It's
rest.
not. No. 2 jars.
That's not. No.
No. Oh, no one likes my idea. Okay.
Not a fan.
It's not enough for just the rocket car.
Mm-mm.
Can you just? Could you just do what I asked, just for a while?
He opens his trunk. Pops open the little crystal container. There are 4 like little slots where the jars fit perfectly.
Okay. Well, I guess he still hasn't said yes or no, so I just stare at him.
Yeah, I can hold those for you.
Thank you. I just put it down in the trunk, coat my arms with shadow again, and put them in their respective places. And I cannot help but like feel that this is a bad decision just because I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone.
Especially if they're controlled by Cred.
Yeah, he closes the little crystal container and then closes his trunk.
And I sort of like grab his collar and like pull him down to my level and just quietly say, I don't think you know who I'm related to, but if something happens to those, I think you'll be in trouble. Thank you for everything, though. And just leave.
He nods, hops back in his car, drives away. You know where to find me.
Thank you. Okay. Turn my back and head towards the house.
Alright, you head inside the Order of Magi's building.
Okay. I guess we sort of just, I make my way around and sort of looking for someone to ask where we could find Julian. Or anyone involved in the interrogation process.
Wait, sorry, what do you mean?
Just trying to find someone who might know where Julian is, or someone involved in the interrogation.
Oh no, he's sitting at his in his chair at the end of the hallway.
Chair?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just walk over to him, greet him. Hello, Julian. Do you have anything for us from those friends we brought over?
He stands up and beckons for you to follow him and walks into a hallway. And he's leading you through the building until eventually you stop in a small claustrophobic room. There are 2 magic circles on the ground. In each of those magic circles is one of the people that you've captured. And both of them have sort of a blank expression on their faces.
Well, I see they've been properly drilled. Nothing out of them?
It is very hard to get anything intelligent out of these sorts of people. It's just blithering and blathering, apocalypse, and...
Apocalypse. Out of henchmen.
X-Men Apocalypse.
They're... Well, they're chaotes. I assumed you could tell that much, but, and they were working for Mortimer, manning his factory. Apparently they had been using a great repository of magic that Mortimer had harvested from humans to create artifacts. Not even magic, but raw willpower, free will. It's really a ghastly thing. And so they were using that to create further artifacts for Mortimer.
That's
Okay. Well, that truly wasn't useful.
I assume you found the factory of sorts that they were using.
Oh, yeah. I whip out my phone and I show him the photos I took.
He says, yes, this is indeed the sort of circle that they would be using to create artifacts, which means that you have stemmed the flow of new recruits to the disciples of Reed. And this is a great victory. Now, was there anything else that you found in the factory?
Nothing of importance, just a body that needed to be burned.
There was a bench, but that was it. Probably where they sat while they made them.
I wonder where they were storing the raw materials then.
Mortimer probably wanted to keep it close to him.
That might very well be. Well, with Mortimer's ability to create new disciples halted, his time could very well be at hand. Do you feel that you're ready to go after the noble of mortal magic?
only after a good day's rest.
Truly, I have one will.
I mean, yeah, we're pretty tired. We just had a big fight.
Can we just take a nap? Just like 1 hour or something. Power nap.
Maybe you have some like magic. I don't know.
With some potion, regeneration or something.
And then we'll be great.
Well,
We'll be ready to go.
yeah, you can rest here. Is there anything else you would like to know about these two, or about Mortimer?
Do you know anyone named Elijah by chance?
No.
No? Okay.
Well-
Just about to ask.
Elijah Wood.
Great actor, great actor.
Not really, though.
What?
no. Okay. Well, thank you very much. How were you able to get information out of the guy, by the way? He has no tongue.
We pulled it from his mind.
That's nice. Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Hopefully these two will be able to take their lives back. Maybe not.
So you have no more need of them?
Were you planning to do something particularly extraordinary with a scraped woman and a tongueless man?
No, we just don't tolerate chaos. They're beyond reproach, so... He just sort of snaps his fingers and, like, 2 pillars of fire shoot out of the ground. So we deal with them, same way we deal with trash. And he just sort of, like, walks out of the room.
Well, he definitely has effective methods, and...
Makes mine look like just like Stone Age.
This goes to show, don't do black magic, kids. Let's go and take a nap, guys.
Alrighty.
Alright, so I guess you head to the dormitory and go to sleep. You have to sleep 8 hours to regenerate will, so a nap won't do it.
Well, it's late, so I think we're gonna go.
Yeah,
to
it's
sleep.
probably around 4 a.m. at this point.
Yeah.
After all is said and done. Alright, let's check the project sheet and see what we've done today.
Project G.
So,
Honestly, I don't think we could kill Mortimer without Dio, so I'm glad.
Dio, or Fang, or someone else.
someone who actually...
I mean,
I have a
it
little
took
bit of
me,
fighting, but my magic's pretty weak, so.
it took me an hour and a half to rip someone's tongue out, so I don't know.
I
Alright.
mean,
So what do you guys learn in today's session?
We have learned that pretty much 3 of the 4 highlighted ley lines are either dead or have been cleaned out by us, so there's no Mortimer there. So he's basically at the last one.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Next, number 2, we learned about the we found the marbles.
Sure,
I don't
yeah.
know, we pretty much found out how he makes his artifacts for sure. I mean, the marbles that we made in the circle at Henry's place are no longer a mystery. We know what they can be used for, and we know that these particular ones are very unclean.
Mm-hmm.
Would the learning that Elijah is involved count as part of the storyline advancement?
No, that's not relevant to Mortimer's downfall.
Well, we destroyed his circle.
Okay. What do you know about the marbles that you got?
What do you mean, what do we know? Well, we know what he's been using them for.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they're pure, like, human or magic will.
We know that people want them as well, that they're powerful and people want them.
And that they have multiple purposes, not just what Mortimer is using them for.
Sure.
What else? Well, we already mentioned that we know how to kill him.
We know how to like deal with their tattoos or something, or like if you rip out their tongue, they kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, defeated Chaos.
Yeah, and we learned if you can like consistently pull out their tongues and they're not able to.
Well, that was a
They're
specific
the
group of
chanting
people.
type. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I still haven't found out. Oh man, I should have asked Julian about that. Fuck. No, that's bad. I'll ask him next time.
What were you gonna ask him?
Well, I imagine the woman came back to consciousness, but I was gonna ask if like the scraping of tattoos did anything to suppress that.
It totally did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know how to disrupt 2 types of chaos.
Yeah. Well, those were the chaos that were working with Mortimer. So.
Yeah. It might. It doesn't really matter. We got rid of them, I guess.
What else? Anything else?
No, since I don't think so. No.
All right, so we're gonna bump up this project to 10 points since in this session you found you isolated where Mortimer is. You found his factory and destroyed it to cut off his flow of reinforcements. You defeated the Chaotes, which he has an alliance with, and you captured his raw materials that he uses to create artifacts.
Okay.
All right, awesome.
That's a lot of progress, actually. It didn't feel like we did much, but we did, apparently.
Killed 3 people, kind of.
Indirectly, 2 of them, yes.
Burned a body.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else before we wrap it up?
Character will time?
Oh, yeah. So did your characters change over the course of the session?
Not really, but mine is sort of like starting to show her true colors. I mean, she's sort of sadistic and ruthless, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you a point of destiny for that.
So mine kind of opposite with the whole like Earth thing getting at him and then trying to protect them. I think he kind of changed into someone who wants to help and protect people.
Sure, I'll give you a point of destiny for that too.
I'm not too sure about myself. Like, I guess I'm improving. I'm like using my skills for different things, so it's kind of giving me experience.
Yeah. Rem sort of starting to understand his limits a little more.
Oh, and also, since I found those pure will sort of thingies, that also plays into my whole backstory with my family.
You found the what?
The jars of pure will, sort of like energy harnessing thingy.
I'm not going to give you any destiny for that yet.
All right.
Not until it comes to fruition. So I think Rem can get 1 point of destiny for starting to learn a little bit more about himself.
Thank you.
Learn to understand himself a little better. All right. Cool. That is that for the session. Let's do shoutouts and wrap it up, guys. So, I'm Kret. This is Magic Rising. I hope you enjoyed it. Probably going to end within 1 to 2 sessions. We'll see. Should be next Monday at 2 p.m. And also something that you can find on YouTube.
All right.
Okay, I'm Silent Wolf. You can find me on Twitter at SilentWolfVG. I still want to go to Worlds, but I have a new way other than becoming the assistant coach for Eager. Convince DM and Hindu to make me a caster so I can go to Worlds. I think that's my shoutouts. And again, thank you, Craig, for having me on.
All right. My name is Irina. You can find me on Twitter at Arctic Prime. And yeah, thanks a lot, Kret. This week was especially fun. I don't know. It just felt really fun. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
You were the leader. All right, my name's Mollusk. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/trnp_Mollusk. Shouts out to the bald man with the nice beard. Thanks for setting everything up, dude. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Why is he talking about Proxy? Proxy isn't even here this week.
No,
That's it. You're off the team. All right, we'll catch you next week. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Okay, bye.